friends! Get ready, because today we're going to geek out over some fascinating food science innovations that could change the way we eat. Now, I bet some of you are thinking, food science? That sounds boring and complicated. But stay with me here. I promise this topic is a lot more interesting than just microscopes and men in lab coats. In fact, we're going to talk about two groundbreaking new categories of food that have the potential to revolutionize trip to the grocery store as we know, and maybe even save the planet a little in the process. Sounds like a pretty sweet deal, eh? What am I talking about? Well, first up, we've got blended meat products. Now that's a mouth-watering term. Blended meat products are part juicy steak, part plant power. Mind blown yet? Yes? No? All right, we'll dive into the world of plant-based meat alternatives. That's right, all the sizzle and satisfaction of a burger or chicken nuggets, but purely made from plants. Take that, cows and chickens. Just kidding. Sort of. Now look, I know change can be scary, and not everyone may be on board yet with swapping beef patties for pea protein. But stick with me, and I think you'll be surprised and inspired by what food technology has in store. Who's ready for a food science adventure? Let's do this. All right, first up, let's dive into blended meat products. These innovative products are made by blending real animal meat with plant-based protein sources. For example, a beef patty could contain 80% actual beef mixed together with 20% textured pea protein. I know what you're thinking. Meat and plants combined? That sounds weird. Believe me, I was skeptical too. But hear me out. The goal here is to reduce the overall environmental impact of meat production while still giving consumers the delicious, satisfying experience they expect from a juicy burger or steak. Now, this isn't some wacky science experiment. These products are carefully engineered by food technologists. They analyze the composition to optimize nutrition and sensory qualities like taste, texture, and aroma. Of course, I need to address the elephant in the room when it comes to plant-blended meats: the price tag. Yes, they typically cost a bit more than pure meat products. But here's some food for thought. As more brands like Applegate and Purdue ramp up production, prices are already dropping. And supporting blended meat products benefits the planet. To me, that's worth the extra bucks. The good news is accessibility is also improving. Major grocery store chains are starting to stock meat hybrids right next to traditional options in the meat aisle, so keep an eye out next time you shop. Nutritionally speaking, blended meat products can deliver the same hearty protein punch as pure meat. It's an innovative way to get the satisfaction of meat while branching out sustainably. Pretty cool how blending two great foods makes an even better one. Now we are switching gears to discuss 100% plant-based meat alternatives. As you clever viewers may have guessed, these are products made to look, cook, and taste just like real meat, but purely using ingredients from plants. Mind-blowing, right? Product developers use ingredients like soy, wheat, and pea proteins to mimic the juicy, satisfying texture of meat. Then they carefully engineer the flavor profile to match the real thing. It may seem hard to believe, but food scientists are incorporating unexpected ingredients like coconut oil and potato starch to reproduce the sizzle and sear of meat on the grill. Top chefs are even lending their culinary expertise to make plant-based meats irresistibly delicious. I know the idea of fake meat sounds weird at first, but trust me, when cooked right, these products capture the mouth-watering flavors and textures of beef, chicken, and pork uncannily well. In terms of availability, plant-based meats are getting much easier to find these days. Major brands like Beyond Meat and Impossible Foods are carried at most grocery store chains now. Of course, the plant-based route still comes with a bit of a higher price tag at this point, but rapidly scaling production is bringing costs down significantly, and eliminating cholesterol is a nice perk. When it comes to nutrition, plant-based meats are designed to deliver protein, vitamins, and minerals comparable to animal products. All the satisfaction, less of the guilt. How about we address some hot topics that I know are on many of your minds when it comes to meat alternatives? First, up allergies and sensitivities. I know many people worry about potential risks from ingredients like soy. Valid concern. But good news, food safety is a top priority for companies making plant-based meats. They avoid cross-contamination and remove allergenic proteins during processing. Now, let's talk about another elephant in the room. What does the traditional meat industry think about these plant-based disruptors? Well, it's a complex issue with a diversity of perspectives. Some view it as a complement rather than competition. Others feel more threatened. But many see it as a wake-up call to innovate in sustainability. Speaking of diverse views, religious groups have interesting takes on plant-based beef and pork. While some see it as an acceptable substitute, others argue alternatives should have different names to avoid confusion. Lots of debate still happening. And arguably the biggest question, will plant-based meats ever fully displace conventional meat consumption? Many experts argue they'll stay niche. But others see the potential for 10, even 50% market share once pricing and taste improve. No one knows what the future holds. One thing is clear. More technological innovation is needed to perfect taste and nutrition profiles. Exciting work is underway using 3D printing and lab-grown cultures to replicate meat down to the molecular level. Regulation also needs to evolve to protect consumers. Well, we've covered a lot of ground. Let's talk about the incredible sustainability superpowers of meat alternatives compared to old-school meat. Get ready for some mind-blowing facts. Let's start with greenhouse gas emissions. The production of just 1/4 pound beef burger contributes more emissions than driving your car 10 miles. Yikes! Now compare that to a plant-based quarter pounder. It produces only a tiny fraction of the emissions. We're talking 20 times less. Just letting that sink in. Now, how is that possible? Well, those methane-burping cattle need a massive amount of land for grazing and growing feed crops. In fact, livestock take up nearly 80% of global farmland. Can you believe that? Plants can feed way more people per acre. Cattle also guzzle down insane amounts of water to grow all that beef. You know how much water is needed for just 1/4 pound burger patty? Hold on to your seats, 450 gallons. My mind is blown. And for a plant patty, 60 gallons. Seriously, my mind is mush after learning that. The takeaway is clear. Shifting toward plant-powered protein is a slam dunk for feeding more people sustainably. Just small changes in our diets can shrink our environmental hoofprint drastically. Pretty empowering. Well, folks, we've covered a mouthful today exploring the fascinating worlds of blended meat products and plant-based alternatives. From engineering the perfect sizzle to minimizing environmental impact, we learned these innovative foods could transform how we eat. Now, I don't expect everyone to become a veggie burger connoisseur overnight. Change takes time, but hopefully I've opened your minds to the promise and potential of these technologies. At the very least, we can all agree Mother Nature deserves a break from burping bovines, and your taste buds deserve an adventure. So be bold. Swap that beef patty for a peek into the future of protein. You might just help change the world, one bite at a time. Thanks for joining me on this food science joyride. Let's keep the conversation going and see where the future of food takes us. Until next time, stay curious.